What's up guys, Shane Stars with Droid Modder X, and today is Nexus Day, or at least today is Nexus 9 and Android Lollipop Day. Still no Nexus 6. As you guys probably know if you follow my Twitter, I was not able to get in on the 12 pre-orders of the Nexus 6 that were available. Hopefully Google will allow us to get some Nexus 6s from the Play Store very soon. But I did get the Nexus 9. I got one of two Nexus 9s that were available at my local Best Buy. I had pre-ordered the Nexus 9 on Amazon, and it was telling me when I went to check my order status that it wasn't shipped and it would be shipped by today, but then it wasn't shipped by today. So I went ahead and canceled that order, ran up to Best Buy, grabbed the Nexus 9, and here I have it today. So what we're going to do today is a quick unboxing and first impressions video. So real quickly, we'll take a look at the box. You have this little sticker on the outside here, or sleeve rather, and then you have just a really clean indentation of a 9 on a white box. Very clean, very crisp looking, and you guys can see it's made by HTC. And this is the 16 gigabyte Wi-Fi black version. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take it out of the box. Just kind of cut the edges here. And this box seems to be a whole lot looser than the previous Nexus 7 and Nexus 10 boxes, which were a pain to open. We'll see how we do here. And the top just slides pretty easily off. Okay, we do have the Nexus 9 tablet here. So we'll just kind of pick it up. There, so we'll just kind of set the tablet to the side. We've got a little blue pamphlet here, and it looks like we have some quick startup guides, warranty and safety information there, and we'll set those to the side as well. So we've got our AC adapter here and our USB charging cord. We'll set those to the side, set the box to the side. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take the wrapper off. And there you have the tablet. So just right off the bat, you guys can tell that it is super thin, and it seems pretty lightweight. It's not very bulky at all. If you turn it around, it kind of takes its design cues from the Nexus 5. It has sort of that rubbery, tacky back that's easy to grip, and you do have your Nexus logo. You do have an 8 megapixel camera that shoots in 1080p, and you do have a LED flash. Now this is probably not the highest quality camera that's available. Like my Note 4 has a 16 megapixel camera, but it should be good enough for taking shots, and who really wants to be that guy taking images, taking pictures with a tablet anyhow. So one cool thing about this device is that we do have boom sound speakers, one up top and one on the bottom. So just like on your HTC One M8, your sound's going to be driving forward at you from the front of the device. No cupping your hand behind it to hear sound, so that should be pretty awesome. And then you see that it's sort of a thin bezel. This is an 8x9 inch screen. This is an IPS screen, so it should be a little dimmer than, say, a Super AMOLED screen like you have on your Note 4. Think more of like a Galaxy, think more of like an LG G3 screen. But the color should be nice, rich, and accurate. So I don't see the IPS being a downside to the screen. The only downside that I can really see right off the bat to this screen is that it is a 4:3 aspect ratio screen and not a 16:9 aspect ratio. So like on my Galaxy Note 4, if I want to launch a video on YouTube, so if I launch a video on my Note 4 on YouTube, it's going to fill up the entire screen because this is a 16:9 aspect ratio. On the Nexus 9, you're going to have black bars, your letter bars above and below the screen. So that's kind of a bummer if you use your Nexus tablet normally just to consume media, which is what I do on my Nexus 10. I use it mainly for media consumption. I know that Google is trying to advertise this as a media consumption and a workspace type tablet, and I guess they're trying to compete with the iPad Air. And so we get a 4:3 aspect ratio device, which they're saying is easier to use one-handed. I can definitely see carrying this around one-handed because it is light, it is nice and thin, but you are obviously going to have to use both hands. They probably want you to hold it this way rather than this way anyway. It's probably why it's a 4:3 aspect ratio versus 16:9. They probably figure you don't need the 16:9 if you're holding it this way versus holding it this way. But we'll go ahead and walk through the setup. So I'm going to speak English. I'm going to connect to my wireless access point. You guys can already see some of that material design. Okay, so while it's checking in a little bit more about the design, you do have a brushed metal edge all the way around the side. You do have that 3.5mm headphone jack there, and the USB charge port is on the bottom. There is a sensor, an ambient light sensor here. A lot of people thought that that was an LED notification, but is actually a light sensor. There actually is no LED notification light on this device at all, which could be a downside for some of you, but it's not a deal breaker. You do have a power button and a volume rocker here. They are very flush and hard to see, so if you just look at the side, you're not going to see them. They're not going to be very obvious. But if you feel for them, you can actually feel them there. There is an update that is available immediately, so we'll go ahead and accept that. While it is doing its update, we'll talk a little bit more about the specs. Like we said before, it's an 8x9 inch screen. It's at a 4.3 or a 4:3 aspect ratio. The resolution is 1536 by 2048 pixels. That's 288 pixels per inch. It's a step down from the Nexus 10, which had a 300 pixels per inch density. It is an IPS LCD, so I can already tell that it is a little dimmer than, say, a Super AMOLED, but that's still, it's not a deal breaker for me. For the price of the tablet at $399, you can't really beat it. The screen is covered by Gorilla Glass 3, which should make it super durable. For light drops, I wouldn't say drop it off the building, but for light drops, it should make it pretty durable, and it should make it pretty much scratch resistant. Okay, the rear facing camera, like we had discussed earlier, is 8 megapixels. The aperture size is f2.4, and it does shoot in 1080p. The front facing camera is a 1.6 megapixel. I wouldn't probably use this at all unless you're just on a Google Hangouts type of thing. You're not going to get super good quality out of that camera, but it is there in case you need it. Okay, then we'll go ahead and talk the processor. It is powered by an NVIDIA Tegra K1 dual-core processor, which is clocked at 2.3 gigahertz, which should be pretty awesome as far as fluidity. You're also going to notice an improvement in the Android operating system with Android Lollipop. It's going to make things a whole lot quicker, a whole lot faster. We'll get into that once this update has installed and we're able to actually boot into the operating system. It does have 2 gigs of RAM, which should help with all your memory stuff, and then 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. There's also an option for a 32 gigabyte version. It's actually housing a 6,700 milliamp hour battery inside the Nexus 9 tablet. So you should be able to get a full day's use and about 5 hours of screen on time. Okay, so a lot of people are talking about just how thin this Nexus 9 device is. And if you put it up next to an iPad Air, it actually looks to be a little bit thinner than an iPad Air. So that's an iPad Air 1, not an iPad Air 2. I don't have an iPad Air 2 with me to show you guys. But if you put them side by side, you can see the difference in thickness. And the Nexus 9 might be slightly thicker. And then if I put these devices side by side, you can see that the Nexus 9 is quite a bit thinner, and it is a little shorter. So the Nexus 9 should be a little easier to carry around one-handed than the iPad Air. The Nexus 9 is much thinner than the Nexus 10. It's also a whole lot slimmer and a whole lot shorter, much more manageable if you're trying to carry it along or make it portable. The Nexus 10 is more of a sit beside the bed, watch a little Netflix, watch a little Hulu before bed. That's kind of the device this is, and this is meant to be more of a portable device so you can carry it with you. You're not probably going to be able to stick it in your back pocket like you could with, say, a Nexus 7, but it is a whole lot smaller, a whole lot more manageable when you're trying to take it around. Okay, so here we are at the welcome screen. So here's my notification drawer. There's a quick demo of the heads up. So we'll go ahead and swipe that down, and then we can open up our settings here. Android Lollipop is pretty much animation based, so there's a lot of really cool animations here. And wow, this is really moving very quickly. I mean, that's blazingly fast. Look how fast it is. It's just incredibly fast. So it looks like Lollipop really has made pretty big improvements on how Android operates. As far as the material theme is designed, I really enjoy it. We get all new icons, and we do get all new animations. We get Google Wallet pre-installed, and then we get all of our normal AOSP applications. We do get these new nav buttons as well, which is pretty cool. And the tablet seems to fly. I mean, it's a whole lot quicker than a Nexus 7, and even my Nexus 10. It seems to be moving a whole lot quicker. Of course, it is a brand new device. Anyways, guys, that about wraps it up for this unboxing and initial overview of the Nexus 9. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future. You can find more of me at droidmodderx.com. Follow me on Twitter at droidmodderx. Thanks, guys, for watching. Be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.